everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Celestial Tree. I'm an astrologer, intuitive reader, and a soul psychologist as well. And today we are going to be chatting about the new moon happening in Leo on the 4th of August around midday. So remember to check your birth charts for any planets and points that are around 12 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio, all the fixed signs. And before I get started, just a gentle reminder that if you would like a reading from me, you can book with me on my website at celestialhealingrealm.com. And remember to subscribe to my channel as well for more spiritual tips and astrology updates. I have been an astrologer for so many years, but I've always shied away from the YouTube space. So I appreciate all the love and the encouragement that I've got on this channel so far. So thank you guys. So yeah, new moon in Leo. The general vibe of this new moon is quite an interesting vibe. The energy of new moons are always sort of new beginnings, fresh starts, the planting and the sowing of seeds. And the general energy of Leo can include things like leadership. Leo also rules over the entertainment sector and the arts. So if you think of things like celebrity culture, Leo would kind of have rulership over that as well. And some astrologers think that Leo does rule over the elites and the ruling class. So if you think of Aquarius, the sister sign of Leo, if you think of Aquarius being the sign that rules over the collective or the people, Leo sort of in turn rules over the few. So a few things can happen here. We could be witnessing the re-establishment of elitism and celebrity culture. I feel like this new moon will definitely center around how the ruling classes will seek to sort of stay in that position of influence, that position of like power that they have. And if you take into consideration the recent I don't want to say the word death because it's not fully stopped yet, but the release of things like celebrity worship and celebrity and elitist worship as well. So this new moon might show us how ruling class intend to retain power and how celebrities will sort of morph their way into trying to appeal from a more relatable space. So yeah, especially since we are moving into the Aquarian age at the end of the year, I feel like it's kind of the last, I don't know how to explain it, but the last sort of grab for power from people in that sort of space. So that's super interesting. Also, Leo rules over national joy and national pleasure. So with Jupiter and Gemini sort of lending its supporting energies to this new moon, we could see the formation of sort of brand new big Jupiter bold ideas on how to bring back national joy and how to sort of improve the lives of others. I know that with the full moon in Capricorn, I did kind of talk about those who have responsibility and those who have responsibility over the collective, and the conversations around disillusionment and how a lot of people kind of feel like, you know, like what's sort of the point of paying attention to those who are responsible for us. So yeah, Leo is actually the sign of leadership, so we could be seeing a lot of discussions around new leadership and what their ideas are to bring national joy and improving the circumstances of everybody and what that would look like going forward. So here is how the new moon in Leo will affect each sign. Please do remember to listen to both your sun sign and your rising sign as well. Aries suns and Aries risings. This new moon will fall in your fifth house of creative expression, pleasure, hobbies, and also children as well. So that might mean a brand new beginning for you creatively. If you've been stuck in a rut, creative wise, Jupiter over in that sort of third house, mental space will probably bring some new creative ideas to your door. And the third house also rules over communication, so I feel like those creative ideas will come about as a result of the conversations and the communications that you have with others. I also feel like you might be having a lot of fun around the time of this new moon and making some small trips here and there, and hopefully those trips also serve as a source of creative inspiration. This could also be a time where you do meet a new potential romantic interest, possibly when you're out in your local community or having some downtime, or at a party somewhere, having fun. Yeah, so that's quite exciting. If you do have children, then it's also likely that you will feel a little bit more inclined to spend time with them, take them out in the local community, and yeah, just bond with them and spend some quality time with them. And it is possible that when you're out, spending time with your children, like if you take them to even just like the local park and they're playing, you might find yourself on a bench having like downtime to yourself, and somebody from somewhere just walks over and is like, hey, and you're like, oh, okay, let me see what this is all about. So yeah, super exciting, Aries. Taurians, Taurus suns and Taurus risings. This new moon in Leo will fall in your fourth house of home and family. So this new moon does signify the beginning of a new beginning in the area of residence. So you could be moving home, you could be selling your house, you could be buying a new home, or you could be setting the intention at this new moon to improve your living space and your personal environment in some way. You might also find yourself spending some money to make positive changes on your home and your living space. With Jupiter over in that second house of money harmoniously interacting with this new moon, so it's very likely that you will sort of draw up plans about how to rearrange your house, and then you're going to be like, right, like let me go and buy everything that I need. So yeah, try not to overspend around this new moon as well. You could also be spending some extra time with family and dealing with family matters that come up around this time as well. I do want to say as well that Mercury will, around sort of the 4th of August, Mercury will go retrograde in Virgo. And then it will retrograde backwards into Leo, into that fourth house space that we've just been talking about. So it might be that you're chilling with family, making improvements in the home, but after around the 15th, when it does retrograde from Virgo to Leo, it might feel as though those things have kind of turned on their head a little bit, which might feel a little bit confusing, because you're like, I've made so many big strides, and I've made so many improvements, and I've spent so much money on trying to improve it, and yeah, I just want to say that confusion and those feelings that could come up after the 15th, so between the 15th and 28th, it's only temporary, and home and family matters will begin to feel easier and feel like they're going a lot more smoother going better after the 28th of August. Gemini suns and Gemini risings, my fellow Gemini risings, how are we doing? This new moon will happen in your third house of all things sort of communication, learning, local travel, and siblings as well. So this does signify a brand new beginning in terms of like communication, how you put out information into the world. You might be experimenting with a new form of expression, and this new form of expression that you're kind of grappling with and coming to terms with is definitely something that will feel very personal to you, especially with Jupiter, you know, being in your sign. It has been there from May. So aside from that, you could be making a lot of calls, sending a lot of emails around this new moon. It does feel like it's a little bit of a busy one. And busy is good for you. We all know that the kiss of death for Gemini is boredom. So yeah, anyone with a strong Gemini placement would probably know exactly what I mean. So yeah, you could be spending your time also talking to and providing some level of comfort and support to a sibling around this time. Checking in on them more than usual, if they're dealing with something around just the time of the new moon in Leo. It is a nice new moon for setting intentions with regards to how you share your voice in the world and how you sort of like liaise with and interact with your local community as well. So there's a lot to think about around the 4th of August. Cancerians, Cancer suns, and Cancer risings. This new moon in Leo will happen in your second house of income, talents, and self-worth as well. So around the 4th of August and really most of Leo season, matters of like money and income are going to be the main focus. You could be thinking more about ways that you can monetize your existing talents in order to bring in more income. And with Jupiter sort of in that 12th house space, you might be thinking about ways that you can utilize your personal spirituality in order to sort of help with income too. So think about things like money spells and money spells is all I can think of off the top of my head. You have also been doing a lot of inner work since May of this year, and that inner work will continue all the way until next year, June 2025. So the lesson here is to make sure that you are tapping into that intuitive space and finding ways that you can take what you're learning about yourself and about the world around you as well, and use those flashes of inspiration and new information to sort of cultivate better financial health. And you'll also have the chance to review this during Mercury retrograde, especially after the 15th of August. But this new moon does feel like a new beginning in the area of finances for you, Cancerians. Leos, Leo suns, and Leo risings. This new moon will fall in your first house of your life path and your physical body and your identity as well. So it's quite literally your time to shine, Leos. You might be feeling a little bit more energetic than you have done over the past few months, which is a good thing, which is a fantastic thing. You could be doing an internal and external reevaluation of yourself, thinking about ways how you can alter your external appearance and your internal world and your internal narratives in order to feel more confident and more authentically you. Not that you don't do that already. I'm not saying you don't do that already, but it's more amplified at the time of this new moon. And I feel like what's really nice about this new moon is the fact that both Jupiter and Mars are in your 11th house of like friends and groups and long-term plans. So both of those planets are harmoniously interacting with the energy of this new moon, meaning that friendships and groups can be a source of really great support and encouragement around the 4th of August. So make sure that you do lean on your friends and your groups where possible around the 4th of August. What I will say is that if you're thinking of sort of changing your appearance, or anything along those lines, try to do so before the before the 4th, maybe not before the 4th, maybe before the 15th of August, when Mercury retrogrades back from Virgo into Leo. Yeah, so if there are any physical alterations that you want to make, doing them after the 15th might mean that you end up sort of regretting those choices after around the 28th of August. So just be mindful of that. Virgo suns and Virgo risings. This new moon will fall in your 12th house of rest, spirituality, mental health, and the unseen as well. So this is quite a quiet period for you. It might be a weekend where you feel like you need to withdraw and retreat a little bit from society and the hustle and bustle of life in order to recharge and reconnect with yourself in some way. You could be doing a lot behind the scenes, not necessarily out publicly engaging with life in that type of way, but taking a step back and clearing your mind and sort of making sure that you're replenishing yourself. This could also be a time where you begin a brand new spiritual practice, something that's more in line with who you've become over the last couple of months. And I feel like it's a good time to set intention and feel and think about ways that you can bring more inner peace into your life in some way. When I say feel, I mean follow your body, follow your mind, follow your energy. If you feel like there is something that you're doing, or if there's somebody that you're around that affects you negatively, and you can feel that in your body and you can feel that in your spirit, take the necessary steps to cut them out sounds harsh, but release them. So yeah, you might also find yourself meditating, journaling, doing more self-check-ins around, not even just around the 4th of August, but around Leo season in general. And especially after the 15th of August as well, when Mercury retrograde does make its way from Virgo into the sign of Leo, encouraging you to kind of review how you rest and review your relaxation rituals as well. Libra suns and Libra risings. This new moon in Leo will be falling in your 11th house of friends, groups, and long-term goals for the future. So around the 4th of August, you could be reaching out to friends or spending more time with a group of friends. You could even start hanging out with a whole new group of friends, or you could make a new really significant friend around this time. You could even be planning a holiday with friends, especially with Jupiter over in that 9th house space of long distance travel and sort of overseas foreign lands and long distance travel is what I mean. So if you are planning a holiday with friends, in order to sort of avoid any hiccups and delays, I would book after the 28th of August, after Mercury is out of retrograde, just to be safe. So yeah, you could also be reevaluating your long-term goals for the future as well, and actually coming up with new ones. So the long-term goals that you come up with and that you create around the 4th of August might be goals that are more aligned with your personal philosophy, and you might plan for your future while taking into account your current circumstances and how they sort of changed over the last few months as well. So yeah, with Jupiter in that 9th house space, the work that you do and the goals that you commit to might come under review during Mercury retrograde, especially after the 15th of August. But this Mercury retrograde is literally just giving you a couple of weeks to tweak them and be sure that what you say you want is actually what you want. Scorpio suns and Scorpio risings. This new moon will fall in your 10th house of career, public status, and reputation. So you could be starting a new job or even getting a promotion around this time. You could also decide to make some new career goals and really think about what it is that you want out of your career and how you can kind of morph it and transform it so that it better serves you, not just now, but in the long run as well. Make sure that when you are setting your goals, yes, think about the big picture because that is important, but also make sure that they are realistic and attainable as well. You'll have plenty of time to review the areas of career around, well, after the 15th of August, when Mercury sort of retrogrades from Virgo into that Leo space. This new moon is also a fantastic time to improve your reputation at work. Not saying that your reputation is not A1 at work, but improve your reputation at work and actually receive some recognition and rewards for the work that you've done in the past. There might also be some additional responsibilities for you to take on at work as well. So make sure that you're not too overwhelmed around the 4th of August and more specifically, after the 15th of August. And yeah, make sure you're taking plenty of time to recharge and rest as well. Sagittarius suns and Sagittarius risings. This new moon in Leo will happen in your 9th house of beliefs, higher learning, and overseas travel as well. So this could be a time where you decide to embark on a new cycle of learning. It could be something that you learn in a classroom or something that you learn sort of in your own time. It could also be something that you decide to look and research into quite deeply over the next sort of 6 months. Something might have like piqued your interest and you're like, I'm actually going to do a really deep dive into that. So yeah, you feel more inclined to like explore and delve deeper into whatever has sort of like sparked that interest for you. You might also find that it is something that is related to your personal belief system or your personal spirituality. So if there is anything that you feel like you want to explore more, maybe you saw like a TikTok and you're like, actually I want to sort of look into it, yeah, make sure that you take the time to do that, because I feel like that is your soul whispering to you to sort of take a new direction spiritually. It's also likely that you might involve a partner in this new cycle of learning and exploration, with Jupiter over in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships harmoniously interacting with this new moon. So yeah, this could also be a time where you're booking a holiday with a partner, although I would wait until Mercury is out of retrograde after the 28th if you're thinking about taking a trip somewhere, just to avoid any hiccups and delays. So yeah, it is a nice new moon to begin some new projects and start learning about things that are close to your heart or things that pique your interest. And if you can bring a partner along with you on this journey, then that's even better. Capricorn suns and Capricorn risings. This new moon in Leo will happen in your 8th house of shared resources and psychological transformations. So this is a time where you might be reevaluating your budgets and your expenses. You might also be dealing with some joint finances, so things like taxes, debts, loans, inheritance. I'm like, what else is there? You could also be in talks with your job about your pay, especially since Jupiter is over in that 6th house of work, that 6th house space of your day-to-day work. You might be talking to your job about your financial situation and how you can kind of take on more work or do some overtime if that's something that you feel like you need. This might also be a time where you begin a new cycle of self-exploration. So when I say self-exploration, what I mean by that is examining ways that you could improve or transform your psyche and the health of your psyche as well, through things like talking therapies or shadow work. If you've got strong Scorpio placements as well, shadow work might be your best bet. So yeah, with Jupiter in that sixth house space, you could also be coming up with new ideas and new ways that you can incorporate self check-ins. The sixth house rules over like your day-to-day routine, so you could be thinking about ways that you can incorporate more self check-ins into your day-to-day routine and your day-to-day activities as well. So things like journaling, things like writing. So yeah, this is a fantastic time to sort of examine where you are in your life and where your life and your internal world may need some transformational overhauls, in terms of like your psyche, and your day-to-day routine as well. Aquarius suns and Aquarius risings. This new moon will fall in your seventh house of partnerships, marriage, and contracts. This feels like a brand new beginning relationship wise for you, Aquarians, especially since Jupiter, the planet of sort of opportunities and abundance, is over in that fifth house space. The fifth house rules over things like dating and romance. So, with the new moon falling in your seventh house of partnerships, it feels like the beginning of a new romance. You could also meet somebody really enchanting. I don't know another word other than like enchanting, but you could meet somebody really like enchanting around the 4th of August. Or you could become aware of an existing romantic relationship or situationship, progressing into sort of a new stage, which is pretty good, pretty exciting, I think. If you have some business dealings, remember the seventh house also rules over business partnerships as well. If you have business dealings and meetings and business talks around the 4th of August, I think the 4th of August is a Sunday, so 3 days before, 3 days after. Around that time, you might feel like you're negotiating a lot easier. And I will also say that Mercury will go retrograde this month, the month of August. So it goes retrograde on the 4th, but after the 15th specifically, it will move backwards into that 7th house space. So it can kind of feel like, wow, I've made all this progress and now things are like delayed or not going smoothly. The retrograde is only temporary, and after the 28th of August, things relationship wise and business wise will start to smooth over and feel a lot easier. Pisces suns and Pisces risings. This new moon in Leo will happen in your sixth house of physical health, day-to-day routines and work. So this signals a new beginning for you routine-wise. There might have been areas of the day-to-day where they were beginning to kind of feel super mundane, super boring, and you might have felt like you were kind of lacking motivation to really commit to prioritizing your routines and prioritizing your health. So this does feel like a fresh start for you, Pisces. It's also likely that this new routine or this new sort of health regime that you want to try, or begin, maybe not try, but that you want to begin, will center around the home and the residence. Jupiter will be harmoniously interacting with this new moon, and Jupiter is over in that sort of 4th house space. It's over in Gemini, so I think things like home and family and residence. Jupiter is a planet that pulls information from the ether and the unseen and sort of grounds it into the material world. So you could very much find yourself having flashes of inspiration at home. And when it comes to like making improvements and improving your daily routine and how you show up in your day to day. And those improvements will feed into making you feel healthier, making you feel more in tune and connected with your mind and your physical body as well. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that this video has been helpful in some way, and I hope that we are really excited for the fresh new energies that this new moon may bring with it. Remember to follow me on TikTok and Instagram at CelestialXTree, and they should both be linked in the description box below, but we'll see if that actually happens. And do message me or email me if you have any questions about any of the videos I upload. So yeah, happy healing everyone.